Testing 1, 2. All right. All right. Come on in his house. In his house. Come on in his house. All right. All right. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get in his house. Come on in his house. Come on in his house. Come on in his house. It's that time. We're back. We're about to do it again. We're about to do it again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Thank you. It's getting about that time. It's getting about that time. Yep. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're inside the Red Hot Mic. Come on in his house. I'm your host, G. Alfred Palmer. Here's to you and to all that you are and will be. My co-host back here, that's Haley Lamar. He holds my hat for me until it's time to get it on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. In the house. That's right. That's right. I appreciate you coming in. I really, really do. Got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. All right. Yeah. 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 Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Mm. Woo. Come on. All right. Woo. All right. We are in the house. We're doing it. We're doing it up big, Headley. Come on. All right. All right. All right. All right. It's time to get busy. It's time to get busy. You are welcome once again to the Red Hot Mic. I am your host, G. Alfred Palmer, and I want to welcome you into the house one more time. You remember how it used to be when those lights used to come on outside, and your folks used to say, your mom would holler out the door, "Come on in this house, boy. Come on in this house, girl. You have to come on in this house. It's dark out there. It's cold and it's wet. You need to come on in this house." And I'm your host, G. Alfred Palmer. You know, I hope, I'm not sure, but I think I put the title in there. If not, it will be in there. So you'll see the title of the broadcast. And so let's get to it. Let's ruminate, elevate, and activate. That's right. We're going to ruminate, elevate, and activate because all those three things are necessary in growth and development. I'm excited. So before we get started, let's try something a little new. Check this out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are growing. We are growing. We are growing. I'm learning. And as I learn, I'm going to extend, expand, and elevate. Extend, expand, and elevate because that's important for us to do. Now, I want to talk about some things tonight, today, whenever you're watching the program here. I'm excited about being here with you, but you know, there's some things that are going on in our community, culture, and clan that needs to be addressed. By no means am I an authority or am I perfect in any shape, form, or fashion. Excuse me. Let me get my pocket hanky together here. I am not perfect in any shape, form, or fashion, and I am just one individual who's speaking. Now, it's important to understand the difference between speaking or being a voice and being a echo. There are many echoes out there. I am not going to be one of those. So I'm going to be addressing some things that some people may not be happy about. Some people may be happy about. But my aim is not to upset anyone, but it is to address what we need to address as humans, as the dwellers of this planet. And there's some things that we need to do. And so I'm excited about being able to be here to just share one man's perspective on some things. Um, I'm not here to um, try to convince anyone because I am not everybody's. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I'm just not going to be. Some people will get where I'm going, and some people won't, and that's fine because I'm not meant for you, and you're not meant for me. And because of that, we can continue to just move on our separate ways. But if this voice is something that you can hear, and if this voice is something that gains your attention, I'm asking you to come on in this house, and if you would you share, like, and hit the notification bell? We are on several different platforms, and we are on StreamYard, YouTube, and on what else? Facebook. Those are the three. And so I need your help. I need your help to grow this channel. We have another channel that actually we have two more channels. One is a more philosophical, because that's my background. My background is in philosophy, in psychology, and in theology. Those are more heady, not so much heady as more spiritual kinds of things that we're going to talk about on that stage and on that platform. I don't want to insult or to hurt anyone's feelings, but I want to, through this channel, identify some things that we need to be doing from a psychological, from a sociological perspective, okay? Also from a developmental perspective. We're going to talk about some things that I think that is very, very important for us to be able to elevate and to expand and to extend. What's happening now is what we're seeing now in our community, in our culture, in our clan, is we're seeing a lot of problem areas that I guess, some folks are just really, really um, having issues with. They're having issues with one of the main things that I think that is probably most fundamental, and yet at the same time misunderstood in this day and this hour is, and I've talked about this before, but I've got to come back to it because of some things that I've been seeing on the internet and on the platforms that are being provided. I need to say this to you, and that is this: we can't we can't misbehave on these platforms, because what we do is we give others who are in charge of these platforms, we give them the fuel to make changes to individuals being able to access these platforms and to use them as a place where eh, we can share our voice. But there are so many people that are doing some things. I've saw some things just recently that really troubled me, and we've got to do better. And hopefully, what we've got to understand is that one of the reason why we're having misunderstandings is because of the misunderstanding of concerning masculine and feminine. And I've talked about this in another broadcast, but I feel a need with what I've been seeing, a need to revisit this particular area because of what's happening and what's going on in our community, in our culture, and in our clans. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, you know, I am not a religious person, but I need to tell you, I come out of religion. I've had my share of being a pastor. I've had my share of being a youth minister and a youth pastor. I've had my share of being a singles minister and a singles pastor. I have had the opportunity to be a senior pastor. I have had the chance to go to seminary. I've had the opportunity to go to Bible college. I've done all these things, but at the same token, I've learned that one thing that we have to be willing to do if we are going to elevate, extend, and expand is wherever we're standing, we've got to be willing to, to let that go, to step up further. We've got to be willing to step up to the next. You can't stay at the same place. We've got to get it in our minds and in our mentality that we're willing to take the risks to step up to the next step of development, okay, of knowledge, of awareness. And so to be able to do that, we can't hold on to what we have if we and expect to get something new if we continue to hold our fists clenched, refusing to let go. And as we do that, when someone comes along with something different than that we've ever heard, we protest. We call them all kinds of words and names and things of that nature because we haven't had the opportunity to elevate, to extend, and expand to that particular place. Doesn't mean that they're deeper than you or anything at all. All it means is they have a willingness, right? They have a willingness to move forward. Okay, and is that who you are? If that is you, then if that's who you are, great. I'm excited for you because that's what this channel is about. This channel is about speaking about things that a lot of people may protest against. But against, we're going to come from a scientific perspective, and we're going to deal with some things that I think needs to be really, really dealt with. Okay, let's talk about masculinity and femininity, because this is where the problem is, and this is where we're having the debates. This is where we have to understand that when we start talking about masculinity and femininity, the first thing that we've got to understand is that it goes beyond being a male or female. Okay. Masculinity and femininity are energies, okay? They are energies that are at the impetus of everything that is. Everything that is in this dominion, or I should say domain, in this domain, in this environment, in this sphere, everything operates by law, by legality. Okay? It's important that we understand that. But before things came into shape and form here under law, under science, there was something that occurred before. And outside of this realm, we call it spiritual or universal, whatever your choice is, or whatever your understanding is. But before it became into this sphere in which we live, this particular masculinity and femininity were essence or spiritual or sources. And so what we've got to understand is that before masculinity and femininity as we know it was, masculinity and femininity was already, had been. So it's important to understand that we need to know that there are characteristics with that masculine and feminine energy. That masculine and feminine energy is not gender specific. It's energy specific. It's essence specific. What do I mean by that? Those are spiritual forces and energy. I said that word because that's the best word I can think about or think of to identify it. Because some of the things that I'm talking about, our English language does a poor job of being able to identify and to explain them. But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. Okay? I'm a little nervous because this is stuff that I'm having to get used to, but I'll get better as I go on. I promise you that. Now, masculinity and femininity, before it became what it is in this sphere, those were energies. Now, because everything operates in this sphere from a scientific methodology or from because when we talk about science, science deals with law. It also deals with legality. It also deals with the scientific method. The scientific method helps us to understand how something is and supposed to operate, how it's supposed to function in this sphere. And many of us don't understand how masculine and feminine got into this sphere. Now, I want to say this, and I need to say this because I'm going to go to some things that may offend some people. That's not my intention. Again, theology is something that is near and dear to my heart and always has been and always will be. So I will be using some of those examples. I will also be using some examples from the field of psychology, sociology, different scientific fields. Theology is a field. It is a science. It's a human science, but it is a science, just like geology, just like biology, just like sociology. There are many other sciences. So I'm going to be using science, and I'm going to be using a a specific science of theology because that's what uh, I have experienced. I can't give you what I haven't experienced. I can give you what I've experienced and what I've studied and what I've researched. Now, when I need to say this, I've come to understand that the biblical narrative offends some people. Some people don't agree that it is legitimate. Some people believe that it's been used to to control people. It's been used to perpetuate to promote, I should say, racism, sexism, discrimination, and all those kinds of things that would limit and control people. Now, I believe that the biblical narrative is not a religious compilation. I don't believe that it is religious in scope. I don't believe that it is religious in purpose or in idea. I believe that what we've done is just like we've done with so many other things. We have taken them and misused them or abused them or abnormally used them. Abuse means to abnormally use something. And that's what we have done. We have abnormally used the biblical narrative. So I'm going to say this. I don't believe that it is a religious book or a religious compilation. I believe that the biblical narrative is something that we are designed to use as a means for us to grow to and I have an acrostic that I want to share with you as we look at the Holy Bible. I have an acrostic. An acrostic basically means that each letter stands for something, and in looking at the Holy Bible, this is what I believe the Bible is. It is HOLY, which is holy. How our lives yoked to BIBLE binary instruction brings about living effectively. I'll say it in whole. How our lives yoked to binary instruction brings about living effectively. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I have to say it like this. When we look at masculinity and femininity, when it was in the sphere that it before it came here in the realm of the spirit or in the realm of the universe, it had certain characteristics. And I talked about this before. When we talk about masculinity, we talk about that which pierces, that which penetrates, okay, and that which injects, okay. That's the characteristics of masculinity. Now, when we flip the coin over and look at femininity, femininity is that which receives, nurtures, and incubates. Okay? Now, you need both to be able to function in this realm. Now, what we have to understand is this: masculinity and femininity had to come from the unseen to the seen. Now, to get from the unseen to the seen, there had to be some rules, some laws that were instituted that would keep violation from occurring. Now, what that violation would look like? The violation is what is the misrepresentation of masculinity and femininity. What we've and I'm going to get into it, but the bottom line is when masculinity and femininity came here from the unseen, the biblical narrative tells us that it came and it crossed over from the unseen to the seen, but in doing so it had to fulfill some requirements. And the requirements was, if we and again, I understand some of you may not believe this, but it is a firm belief of mine that when Adam came into this realm, man came into this realm, he was equipped with both masculine and feminine. He had to be. Why? Well, because coming into this realm, there were laws that would say that if he had to penetrate, he had to do the work of masculinity to come into this realm. He had to penetrate, right? He had to inject. Those are characteristics of masculinity and not femininity. If femininity were to try to do that, that would be in violation of the rules that say that masculinity, and the only way that it could come into this realm would be by injecting, okay, penetrating. So it had to penetrate to get into this realm. However, inside of the masculinity had to be the feminine, and the masculine covered and protected the feminine as it entered to keep it from being destroyed. So the feminine came inside of man. Now, if you are acquainted with the biblical narrative, you are aware that Adam, who came in as man, as being the masculine, and he came in and he began to name things and to do things in the earth. And he began to see the animals, and the animals had mates. But he realized that none of the animals were proper for him. Hello, somebody. The animals are not made for your mating. You're not created and designed, nor are they for you, you for them. Adam realized that man realized that he had no mate. He had no mate. But the creator already knew that he had everything in him that was necessary to bring about his purpose. It's the same thing with you. Everything you need to fulfill purpose is in you. But we'll talk about that another time. But anyway, get back to the idea of masculinity came into this place, realizing that it didn't have a match, a proper and suitable mate. So what did the creator do? The creator caused man to go unconscious. And what he did was he removed a rib, and that rib represented his DNA. But what DNA? Not the masculine, the feminine. It was the feminine DNA that was taken from him, and the creator took and formed. See, it's important to understand the difference between created and formed. The man was created, the woman was formed. That which is created from nothing. That which is formed is created from something that already exists. Now, I don't mean to get religious. I'm not getting religious. You may think I am. I'm getting spiritual with you. I'm getting spiritual with you. And I'm getting scientific with you. If you could hear what I'm saying. Because within the biblical narrative, you'll find all the sciences. So here we go. So here, the man is put to sleep. And extracted from him is the DNA that holds femininity. And the femininity was taken and formed into woman. And when the woman was presented to man, he said, "Whoo, man." You know why? Because that's what should happen when you see her. Whoo, man. And so that's when he realized that's her name. Now, why? How could he identify her when he was asleep? How could he identify something that he wasn't conscious to see? The reason why is because he recognized himself. What we've got to understand is femininity and masculinity are two sides of the same coin. We need one another. But what we're seeing in our culture and in our clan and in our communities is that there's a fight going on for who's going to be the top dog, who's going to be number one, who's going to be numero uno, who's going to be the head honcho. When in all actuality, there is only one, and it's neither you or I. It is the creator. the universe, that had an idea of putting us here to fulfill an idea, a plan, a mindedness. We're going to talk about the difference between mindedness and mindfulness as well, because I think so many people got it mixed up. There's a difference between mindfulness and mindedness, and we're going to talk about it. But that's more in another area as well. But listen, so again, the idea of the woman being formed, okay? She came formed. Now, listen, she has all the elements of of femininity, just like she did, just like femininity did before it took on flesh. Femininity had to take on flesh, but when it took on flesh, it had to come in lawfully into this realm, and it came under the cover and under the protection of masculinity, and it entered into this place. And once here, it was able to be extracted from man, and the woman was formed, fashioned from that which was already here, man. So here's what I tell people all the time. The reason I can speak to women as a man is because you've come from us. I can speak to you because you come from us. You come from us, but man comes through woman. Similar, but not the same. Similar, but not the same. Because even in planting a seed here, he still penetrates. He still injects, right? And she still does the same thing. She receives. She nurtures and she incubates. Now, what we have in our culture, in our community, in our clan, is people that are they're not satisfied with the suit that they have. You can't change the suit that you have. The universe intentionally gave you that suit. Why? Because it's the best way for you to fulfill the idea that the universe, see, you're not a mistake. You're not an error. You're not that sexual experience that your parents had. You are a plan of the universe or of the creator before you were a glint in your parents' eyes. And to come here and to fulfill what we call purpose, what you need is you need to a design. And I call that design. That design is your physiological and biological equipment. It is very necessary, the way that you came, for you to fulfill the very thing that you were sent to do. That's right. You were sent. You're not an accident. Your parents' tryst or tryst, however you say it. It wasn't that one night stand that you may have thought it was. No, you bring much more than that. You bring much more than that. There's so much more to you than that. There's a plan for you. There's an idea for you. There's a design for you. And your design that you came in with is the universe's choosing, not yours, not your parents. It's the universe's. The universe chose you to be and to bring the essence of femininity or masculinity, whatever suit you wear. And it's for you to be able to fulfill or optimize your performance as relative to your purpose. You're not an accident. You're not an accident. But what we're seeing now is people are not embracing their design biologically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and they're not satisfied. They want something else. And you know what? If they were to get it, they will want something else. Some people will never be satisfied with anything. Why? Because they don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. And so they have problems with masculinity. They have problems with femininity. And so it's important for us to understand that when you came into this place called earth, when you were born, you had a masculine or feminine CPU. Okay, that's the operating procedure unit that you had. It's the operating procedure that the operating unit that operated behind the scenes. But your software had not been uploaded. So parents or parenting, their function is to upload software to enable you to operate and to function in accordance with the uniform or the design that you have. It's not a matter of, and it's not a matter what you want or what I want or what your parents want. It's what the universe wanted you to possess. And so when you came here, the universe says, this is the uniform that you to have. This is the design that you are supposed to have. And so what your parents are supposed to do is you have two parents. Everything's binary. So we got people that are trying to do away with binary and saying that they're non-binary. There's no such thing as non-binary. You're either masculine or feminine. Masculine or feminine. Now, I hear someone saying, well, what about those people that come with more than one gender? Actually, they don't. They don't come with more than one gender. They don't. They may have an appendage and they may have something that looks like, but they don't have two genders. Now, some people will disagree with that. Fine. You can believe that if you would. But it goes against everything that's fundamental with our existence. Even the animals are binary. Plants, binary. Everything has binary energy, masculine, feminine. Folks will say, oh, well, there's plants and animals that can all things being equal, you're always going to have outliers in everything. But those outliers are always rare and don't negate that everything else pretty much fits within the average. And that's what I'm talking about. The average, just everyone, not the extremes, because they're very, very rare. So when you came here, you came here either masculine or feminine. Okay. And it's time, and your parents were to upload you with the proper software. It's not your fault that you have not been given the proper software. It's your parents to blame. It's your community, your culture, and your clan. Because the bottom line is, when a son sees his father goes to the bathroom for the first time, or initially when he's in that walker and he scoots himself to the walker in his walker to the bathroom, and the father goes to the bathroom, he sees his father stand up and goes to the bathroom, right? And he observes that his father has the same equipment that he has. And because of that, now the son begins to really observe, hear what I'm saying, observe that parent. Why? Because that parent has what I have. And because of that, there becomes a union and a bind. They become bound together. And so the father is then responsible for uploading the software to that son that will enable him to function the best and to the full of his ability, because not every father has it all, every I dotted and T crossed, but he does the best he can to bring that son up in the way of masculinity. When a son wants to play with things that he shouldn't be playing with, no, son, this is not what little boys do. Okay? This is what boys do. Okay? Now, when you were born, you didn't come here as a male or a female. I hear people talking about, oh, I'm a male. No, you're not. You came into this planet when you were born. What's the first thing that they put when you were placed in that nursery in that bassinet? What was the sign that they placed above your bassinet? You remember? Well, you can go into the hospitals and you'll see it's either boy or girl. It's not male or female. You came into this realm, into this domain as a male, as a boy or a girl. And that boy or girl has no software. That's where parenting comes in, to give that child the necessary software. But what we're doing is we're letting children decide and make choices that they are not capable of making. We're letting children raise themselves. If the children don't raise themselves, then the community raises them or the culture raises them, but the clan is supposed to raise them. Their parents are supposed to raise them. The father is supposed to raise them. But what happens is, because the father is not in the home, raising his son, he lives under a feminine influence. And because of that influence affects his way of thinking. And as a result of that, he begins not to think masculine, he begins to think feminine. And he looks for opportunities where he can engage in feminine activities. He looks to receive. He looks to incubate. And he looks to nurture. But he's not equipped for those things. He's not equipped for those things. Somebody hears me. Somebody hears me. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm not trying to insult anyone. But the bottom line is, because the father is not in the home, I'm not putting down the mother. The mother does the best she can. Some mothers, and as a result, they dig into their own masculine traits, and which causes problems for them as well, especially in relationships. Two men cannot live in the house together. Two masculine men cannot. Masculinity and masculinity cannot cohabitate. That's why we have problems in relationship. We have problem in relationship because there's too masculine or too feminine in the same household. It will never work. It will never work. So it's not the child's fault. It's not the child's fault. The child can only do is the child is a blank slate that has uploaded software. Okay? That's not necessarily who they are. They need to be developed. They are underdeveloped or not developed mentally, cognitively, psychologically, emotionally, and philosophically. They are not developed or underdeveloped. And as a result, they operate and function out of that capacity. And as a result of that, we have what we had. We have what we had. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do? I'm going to tell you exactly what needs to happen in order to fix this. Some people say it doesn't need to be fixed. Look around you. Look around you and tell me it doesn't need to be fixed. My handkerchief keeps coming out. Excuse me. Look around you and tell me that it doesn't there's some things that don't need to be fixed in our community, in our culture, in our clan. We're looking in the wrong places for answers. We're looking in the wrong places for answers. We're looking at celebrities because they've got money means that they're able to or celebrity or notoriety means that they have answers. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. We look for politicians to provide answers. Just because they've been elected and ran a good campaign, an effective campaign, does that mean that they are able to and fit to make decisions relative to what is right and wrong in our community, culture, and clan? No, no, no. Who does? The universe does. And that's why you're here. You are the answer in the form, the universe's answer in a physical form. Now the question is, what are you here for? What are you here to do? Because whatever you're supposed to do has to be, one, lawful. It cannot be illegal. Okay, you're feeding people, but you're doing it illegally. You're doing it illegally. That doesn't come from the universe. So what do we have to do? We have to understand that there is something that we're supposed to be doing, and we've got to understand and find out what that thing is. It's called purpose. And that's what we talk about on our other channel, Purpose Sphere. Purpose Sphere deals with how to find purpose. But what I want to talk about here is the importance of masculinity and femininity. We need masculinity and femininity. They are equal, but not the same. Excuse me, equal, but not the same. There are areas where he needs you, and there's areas where you need him. There's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. Because the bottom line is, if we go to war, or we have to really listen, listen, if we're talking about hand-to-hand combat, most females will lose. Most females, sure, there's going to be some that's going to win, but most will lose. They will lose their lives. It won't even be fair because of the way that we as masculine beings are built. So she needs us for that. But we cannot, we are visionary. We're not strategic. She's strategic. She has a plan for everything. If you give her groceries, she'll give you a meal. You give her a house, she'll give you a home. You give her seed, she'll give you a baby. She is formed that way to strategically carry out mission. But what we're doing is we're fighting against each other. And what's going to eventually happen, we're going to get to a place in our development that you'll no longer be desirable. And you'll wind up alone. And you're not supposed to be alone, because the creator said it's not good, it's not beneficial for man to be alone. Fellas, I'm talking to you. It's not good for you to be alone. You need her. You need her. And she needs you. Because we cannot be fruitful and multiply without her. Can we? She's the one that receives seed, carries seed, incubates seed, and delivers seed. You can't do it without her. But then, someone will say, well, I don't need him. I freeze my eggs and I can go get, yes, you can. But you still need a father. You still need masculine energy. And I was sharing this just tonight. I don't know any kind of mammal or any type of, just let's say, mammal. that will take care of another male mammal's seed. They either kill it or desert it. So expecting someone to come take care of your seed, lady, is not how masculine mentality works. We don't think that way. What do you think? Whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter. That's not how we think. Oh, well, if he loves me, he's going. That has nothing to do with it. Men or masculinity is based on legacy, and legacy is building seed and providing their own seed, their own generations, their own legacy, not another man's, not yours, his, because that's how we're built. Whether you like it or not, that's how a man is built. Now, males are something else. We're going to talk about the difference between boy, excuse me. We're going to talk about the difference between boys, males, and men, girls, females, and women. Okay, there's a difference developmentally. We're going to talk about it. Well, I don't know if you got anything out there. I hope you did, because what we're talking about. Let me see if there's anything else I really want to share with you before I close out. It's important that we understand the that masculinity and femininity are oh so important. Oh so important. And until we get to that place that we see that they are important, we're going to have problems. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about soulmates, because that's another thing that we're talking, and I've experienced in my own life, where someone claimed that I was their soulmate, but we need to look at what soulmates are and gain a better understanding. That's what we're going to do on our next broadcast. We're going to talk about soulmates. We're going to talk about what we've been taught about soulmates. We're going to define what a soulmate is, and we're going to look at some keys to effective relationship relative to the whole idea of soulmate. Because we have been sold a bill of goods relative to that too. So I've shared with you, and I've gone a little bit um, further to an area that I didn't want this particular channel to deal with, but yet, I mean, when you talk about science or scientific method, there's going to be a lot of things that come into play. What you need to be able to do is to identify the scientific field that we're talking about. Now, one of the things that I'm going to be talking about on the other station on Purpose Sphere is I'm going to be talking about how to find your purpose. How do you find your purpose? There is a way to find purpose. I call it purposeology, and we're going to talk about that on the other station. And I'm getting to the final stages of preparing the new station, and it should be up. Which I'm looking to be able to start broadcasting on Tuesdays and Thursdays of next week. So we're looking for that to start next week, where we're going to be talking about purpose, and we're going to be talking about it from very, very foundational way, and we're going to be talking about it, some of the literature that I've written, and some of the literature that is out there from other people, because there's some tremendous people out there that have written some things. I forgot to turn on my light. I love my lights. I love lights because lights. Power on. Lights. Bluetooth mode. I love lights. And you can tell that I love lights by what's all around you. And so purposeology and purpose sphere is going to be something that you really, really want to connect with. And not only that, with our website, we're going to put the description. We're going to put the site website in the description area down below, and going over there and visit and see some of the things that we've been able to do in the several decades that we've been doing this. I'm excited about what's going on. I'm learning, and that's one of the things that's making it really exciting for me, is that I'm learning, and for me, learning is key. I may not be the most articulate person, but I have some ideas, and some ideas that have been given to me, and it's not something that I've just thought up and overnight. These things have been researched. These things have been mused over, prayed over, thought over, dwelled over decades. Not something that just happened. And it's not something that just happened. Believe me, it takes it's taken it's cost me a lot to get to this place of the things that I believe that I've been given so that I can share. I enjoy lights. I enjoy music. I enjoy having fun. I enjoy having a good time. I enjoy eating. I enjoy a lot of things that everybody else enjoys too. But I also know that I'm supposed to do something. And for some people, they think it's religious. I'm not religious. I am not religious because religious people do anything. They really do. But I am a spiritual person, a spiritual being, living out a purposeful life here in this sphere called Earth, in this realm called Earth. And so are you. So if we're going to better our community, culture, and clan, if we're going to better what's going on around us, we've got to find purpose because that's what you bring. And that's what your fix is for our community, our culture, and our clan. Your purpose. So what is it? Now I heard someone say it's my passion. No, it's not. Passion and purpose are not the same thing. They're not. They're not the same thing. And I'm going to share with you why. We're on the other station. That's not going to be done here. But I hope you enjoy what we talked about: masculinity, femininity, how it came here, how it came designed, and what it's designed to do here now, and how we're to operate and how we're to allow the other to operate. If somebody got to let you be a man, you're not a man. If someone's got to let you be a woman, you're not. And I'm not saying that to hurt or harm you. I'm hoping that you will start thinking about some things and rethinking some of the things that you thought were true. There was a time we thought that Santa Claus was real, right? We thought the Easter Bunny was real. The Tooth Fairy. We thought they came, and we really thought those were real. But we came to a place and realized that they're not. So many other things that we've been taught or made to believe is not true. And so we've got to challenge those things. We've got to challenge them. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to charge you to challenge and change. And I'm gonna have fun doing it because I love music, huh? I love lights, and I love being the cat in the hat. I love wearing little hats and things like that. So you're gonna see that. That's just me being me. That's the only person I know how to be. Me. Now I may look at some things that I see about you and like those things, some of those things, but I'm going to take them and I'm going to weave them into my own personality and use them because I've seen some things and some people that I really hold high in high regard in this space called content creators. I've seen some really great people, great content creators. And then I've seen some forgeries, some copiers, some parakeets, some echoes, and not voices. I purpose to be a voice. and not an echo. I purpose to be a voice and not an echo. Now, in closing, I just want to thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I really do. I really want to thank you for doing that. And again, I need you to share, like, and hit the notification bell. I need you to help me to grow. I don't have a whole lot of folks following me because my message isn't a feel good message. It's just one of those real hard ones that really deals with truth and honesty. And those that would be true and honest will share, like, and hit the notification bell. Those don't, okay. I'm just not your cup of tea. You like it another way. That's fine. I'm not going to stop being me to satisfy you, and I'm not looking for you to stop being you to satisfy me. Be honest and true to yourself. Okay. Well, thank you once again. And when we um, do this, what we like to do is we like to go out the way we came in. I really do. I like to go out the way we came in. And I do that because this is who I am. Too. This is me too. And I like this part of me too. Okay? I hope you can get something from the Red Hot Mike, your host, Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. And once again, toasting to you that you ruminate, elevate, and activate. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Till the next time, Dr. G. Alfred Palmer, and I'm out. Peace.